This is Not a Player Pod, a sports podcast by fans and for fans covering everything from the hardwood to the gridiron. So without further ado, let's send it off to the stars of the show, Lewis, Max, Jack, and John, because ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is nap time.
What is going on, people? This is Not a Player Podcast. It's Sunday evening. Sunday Night Football hasn't started yet, but you are listening to this on Monday morning. Week 1 is almost in the books. The noon games are done. The 3 o'clock games are done. We are here to talk about them. We're going to give some standout performances. We're going to give some win-loss. Best win, worst loss. Fellas, Week 1, almost in the books. It was a fantastic Sunday. Your thoughts? How are we doing?
It was a great Sunday to be back in football. We had a great time. We all three watched the games together, so that's always fun. Getting our opinions live. We saved a lot for the podcast, though, so I'm excited to hear both your thoughts on some deeper talk.
No doubt. Fun Week 1. Fun watching with you fellas. One more very important night game, and then we got the Vikes.
I cannot wait for the Vikings game, but we'll talk about that on Wednesday evening, so we'll hold off on that. Any overall thoughts on Week 1 thus far? There's been some good games, there's been some boring games, there's been some blowouts, a few shocking things, but maybe an overall takeaway.
I think I've been on the wrong end of some bets this week, but I got to keep telling myself Week 1 is a liar. That's what I've continued to try to say each losing drive in that witching hour. But yeah, I think that it's pretty chalk, but I don't know. Lou, any takeaways specifically?
Well, not a lot of upsets happened today. It was kind of a favorites won and didn't cover situation at sometimes, and there wasn't the big, oh my gosh, how did this team lose? We had a couple of them that got close, like the Broncos were trying to give that game away. The Cardinals were trying to give the game away. But other than that, everyone was pretty straightforward. I don't think we're going to look back at this and be like any shocking things, but there's always a couple things in Week 1 or 2.
A stat for you guys before we move on to anything. This is really crazy, actually, and I'm just realizing it right now. Out of all 12 games today, 11 went under the number. That is.
And do you know what the over one was? Because I do, off the top of my head.
It was the Jets and Steelers.
Yep.
Easy.
Probably the game that a lot of people would have thought would go
the lowest total. It was like 38 before the game.
That is
I got a couple notes. Fox score bug looks like we're watching Nickelodeon. We got to change that back. I wouldn't hate going back to like the 2004 score bug.
Brutal. Didn't like that one. Were you guys a fan of the YouTube streamers? Any Mr. Beast fans?
No, not at all. Not at all. Did not even
I'm
see
happy.
Mr. Beast on my screen.
Oh.
I didn't even see it, and I'm not mad. I did not see that. I heard only that. You also mentioned you didn't particularly enjoy the new what's it called, the yardage when they zoom in on short yardage situations, and they have to go to the scoreboard in the building to show. I miss the chain gang. Simply put, I do miss the chain gang.
I completely miss the chain gang, and I don't understand the tech. It's still just based off where the ref decides to put the ball. Like,
yeah, I don't understand, but
human error there.
There is, and you took a lot of people out of jobs. Think about all the 70-year-old dudes that have been
they're still
on
there.
the chain
They're
gang.
still on the sideline.
Are they?
Yeah. They just
So they just don't get to touch the grass, is what you're saying.
Yeah, correct. It's more so the players still know like where the first down is.
Okay. Yeah, but it takes a little bit of the fun out of their day. They don't get to go on the field.
Yeah. So I got just a couple housekeeping stuff on how these episodes are going to be working for the general public. We'll be recording before Sunday Night Football. We will go through our biggest winners and losers of the day. We're each going to choose one game of a biggest win and a worst loss, and then we're all going to pick a standout performance from a player, and then we'll do some cleanup at the end of stuff we missed. So I think we should go ahead and get into our biggest winners of the day. Max, why don't you go ahead first?
My biggest winner, I think, is going back to Thursday with the Chargers.
Friday.
They were dealt a tough hand having their home divisional game being played on a different continent week 1. I think that's a little ridiculous. I know it's kind of common talk going into the game and whatnot, but I don't think any divisional games should be played overseas. Seems a little ridiculous. But I think that was the best we've seen their passing game under Herbert in his entire reign there. He was slinging it. He had 394. Our team had a total of 394 yards. It didn't really feel like the Chiefs ever got back into it. Classic Chiefs. Looked like they were going to maybe do something towards the end, but I think Jim Harbaugh had a great game plan and was pretty impressed with the Chargers.
It is when you're watching the Chargers. Sorry, Lewis.
No, go ahead.
When Jim Harbaugh is the coach, it does feel like if it's a close game, it just feels so much different knowing you have Jim Harbaugh as your coach versus maybe in the past when they had Brandon Staley or Anthony Lynn, any of those types. It's just different. The Chargers are a different team.
Yep.
It did seem like we were trending. It did seem like we were trending for a Chiefs ugly win by 1 or 2 for a lot of that second half, and as soon as that started to happen, I started cheering very much for the Chargers because I did not want to see the Chiefs grind out an ugly win.
Mm-hmm.
How about Kelsey injuring Worthy on the third play of that game too?
Tough.
Unfortunate. Very unfortunate.
That is unfortunate. Spending too much time doing other things in the offseason, running the wrong route.
I was,
all right.
Well, I just wanted to say I was so impressed with Herbert until his post-game interview. Did you guys catch that by chance?
No, I didn't catch this.
I didn't either.
She was like, how big was that win for you guys? Like divisional. And his answer is just another game. And I like that she actually pushed back and was like, well, you haven't beat them in however many games. Like, it feels pretty important. So a little bit too chalk of an answer for me with Herbert in the press. A little boring, but
yeah, don't worry. He'll slide by the time playoffs comes around. All right, why don't we move on, John?
Yep.
Go ahead. For
I'll go ahead. I think the best win this week was earlier today, or I guess yesterday for the listeners, the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't think you could have scripted a better first start for Aaron Rodgers in the Steelers uniform. DK Metcalf looked really good in his debut for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think he is a massive upgrade over George Pickens, which I guess I might have overlooked slightly. Aaron threw him a couple of screen passes where DK just made a guy miss and ran for 30 yards, and it looked like it was super easy. Chris Boswell is a stud as a kicker, and I think that actually matters for them because I think they're going to be kicking a fair amount of field goals. And the last thing I'll say, which I didn't think I would say in a million years, they overcame a Justin Fields game. Justin Fields was incredible.
Yeah, I got a follow-up question for you.
Go ahead.
Are you nervous about the Steelers defense because they did not look good? This should not be the way that the Steelers are winning football games. I thought it'd be more of a 21-10 win or a 15-13 win, not this high-scoring game.
I completely understand and I agree. I should have made a precursor in saying that I still don't think the Steelers are a very good football team. It was just today they look great. Correct. If they play like this and this defense continues to play this way, they're not going to win all that many football games. But today, it was kind of, I don't know if I'd call it poetic that they won a game based on their offense, which I can't remember the Steelers the last time they did that as a football team. So, I guess it proves they can. I don't know how often they will. The Jets defense is good. I didn't see this coming. I really didn't. I thought the Jets defense was pretty good, especially with Aaron Glenn coming in, who I think is a good defensive guy. So a little bit surprising, but good win for the Steelers today.
Hats off to Arthur Smith. Great game plan.
Yeah.
On the other side of that game, the Jets did look okay. They could run the ball, but their defense obviously let it off. But I'm gonna have to go back and we're gonna have some work to do before week 2. I
think real quick on the Jets, I think that's a game you can't lose. You're not going to get a Justin
save
Fields
this,
performance.
Save this.
Well,
save this.
talk.
Save this.
Okay.
All right. I'll go ahead on my biggest win. My biggest win, I have the Las Vegas Raiders, because that could have been a big battle for a low seed come January time. The Patriots are gunning for that 7th seed in that division. I think they're a year behind, and you could tell by the way Drake May played that it wasn't anything special today. The Raiders came out hot. Geno Smith was looking good. And then both teams kind of stalled. But just back and forth game, I think it's important just to get the first win out of the way, no matter how it goes. Pete Carroll getting a nice win. Genty was a little bit bottled up today. I don't have his exact stats in front of me, but I feel like it was only for like 50, 60 yards or something. But
First touchdown,
just a good quality. Yeah, that is true. Our mutual friend Jack Nasey was a little too excited for that touchdown. But
shout out to him for getting a
good solid win. And I think that this is going to kind of show the trajectory for the rest of the season, that the Raiders are going to be on more of an upward trajectory. It might be a little further ahead than the Patriots are.
Hopefully Brock Bowers is okay, though.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Any word on what his injury was?
No, I haven't seen anything.
It didn't look great. It was a non-contact injury where he kind of just pulled up.
I think it was the play before, though, when he was tackled out of bounds.
Yeah. I think I saw like one of those like Instagram or like Twitter doctors being like MCL sprain, but like who the heck knows? Those guys are right a third of the time.
Much more exciting offense. Geno looked pretty good. I think he threw for almost 400 yards probably. He was airing it out. Patriots have work to do.
As I said prior to the season, and now I think today furthered my point, the Patriots are not ready yet to win a lot of ball games. They're just not talented enough. And today proved that again.
All right, why don't we move on to our biggest losers? Since we already brought it up, Max, you go ahead with yours.
No, yeah, I had the Jets. I just think that to come that close when people were doubting you, that's got to hurt. I heard Justin Fields' presser a little bit. He was like, put up 32 points, felt like he was already maybe taking shots at the defense.
Taking some shots at the defense. They should be better because they got a defensive head coach. So, like, I don't know. Maybe they'll switch
Justin
up some
Fields
stuff.
looked really good, though. I just don't believe in them, and that's a tough loss for what was a really competent performance.
Yeah, and now they got to turn around and play Buffalo next week, which is not going to be an easier game than the Steelers, unfortunately.
No.
Yeah, their defense better start showing up. Otherwise, things aren't going to go well for them this year.
No, they're not. They're not built to play from behind, even though they got semi-close.
No. Yeah.
Tuck, you go ahead with.
I'll go. This is maybe a bit of a surprising pick for most people. To most people, it's the Cleveland Browns. They only lost by 1 point to the Cincinnati Bengals, but listen to me real quick. They outgained the Cincinnati Bengals 327 yards to 141 yards. They had the ball for 11 more minutes, meaning they had the ball for about 35, 36 minutes. The Bengals had it for about 24, 25 minutes. So that's a pretty big discrepancy. They allowed just 7 total net yards in the second half. And just simply put, you blew a golden opportunity to beat a pretty good Bengals team at home in a day where the Bengals offense did close to nothing. So, yeah, that's my pick. I think the Browns blew it today. They're not a great team, but this was such a winnable game. I think the story here is almost more on the Bengals side, which we can talk about, but just a bad loss. Bad loss for them.
I mean, I'd put this more in the camp of like worse win for the Bengals than I would bad loss from the Browns. Like, we can't have any expectations for the Browns or the Saints. Like, it's got to be those two teams got nothing. And
I kind of agree. I also kind of disagree. I think if you told the Bengals they win a ball game today, they'll take any type of win. They lose week 1 just about every year. So
I would have think they want to look better than the way they did. They had like 7 net yards in the second half. That's
same
not,
old
that's
Bengals.
not
I just
ideal.
don't know if they have it.
It's better than losing, and they very easily could have lost today.
It is better that they did this instead of losing the Patriots like they did last year in week 1. You're right.
I think turnovers kind of is what it came down to. Is Flacco still at the helm? When do we get to see Shador?
Dylan Gabriel? Well, it's going to be Gabriel first.
I just feel bad for Browns fans. Just brutal team to watch right now. Joe Flacco.
And their schedule is just got nothing good coming. It looks impossible. All right, I'm
Poor
going to go ahead and
Brownies.
take my biggest loss, and that is going to be I think we had a couple games pegged, Max and I. We had a lot of similar talks before week 1, and we both had the Lions just not being a good team this year, and from the losses of their 2 coordinators, and I think that we're on path to be proven right. Unless if week 1 is a liar, I'm going to massively overreact to this game right now. I think that this team is missing the playoffs. They are not even in the same league as the Packers are right now. Jared Goff, I think, checked down maybe 90% of his passes today. We kept looking over, and his average depth of target must have been like 3 or 4 yards. They weren't really able to run the ball. Their offensive line doesn't have the same oomph as last year. I think they replaced all 3 interior offensive linemen, both the guards and the center, compared to last year. So we can't imagine that they're going to be able to run it as well. Their defense stood up a little bit to the Packers, but it was like kind of too little too late. And I just don't think that this Dan Campbell-led team will be able to compete. I think this is a year from hell from them.
Yeah, they're definitely a red flag team for me too. But they dominated time of possession. Like if you looked at it,
Because they kept checking it down, and then they kept.
I know, but you'd think they
just
just
getting these.
that would result in a road win, maybe. But they just looked awful and did not pass the eye test at all. Jared Goff can't move, just accept sack after sack. Did not instill much confidence at all.
I would say just, be slightly patient. They had their opportunities in the first half to keep it close. They threw a pick in the red zone. They had a couple of opportunities and that settled for field goals in the red zone. I would just say, I don't know. I'm going to wait. I think the Packers might be great. And so should they have probably, if the Lions are what we thought they may be, or what they were last year, yes, they probably would have played a lot better today. But I think it's 1 week, and a lot of times teams have duds in week 1. But the way it looked, the way the Lions played, checking down every ball and just playing lethargically, it was a bit eye.
Just compared to what they looked like last year, like they didn't play this bad once last year.
Yeah, it's true. But things happen,
Yeah. Why don't we go ahead and we'll move on to our top performances of the week. I can start because mine is the game.
Sponsored by?
We did forget to say this episode is sponsored by German Auto Works, unfortunately. We might have to have them. We might be able to have them keep their money on this episode because we are not. We forgot to mention that one. We'll go post in the socials. But if you need sales or
Standout
sales
performances
on your
sponsored
German
by.
yeah, by the German Auto Works. All right, we'll go ahead. Mine will go back to Thursday night, and his performance started even before the game, and that is Dak Prescott getting the number 1 player on the other team thrown out before a single snap of the game starts, and he went on from there to look great, and even in a loss. This one's kind of a little weird because normally we're going to have winning players in this, but I just thought Dak did everything he could for this team to get a win in a hostile environment in Philadelphia. And his receiver, CeeDee Lamb, dropped 3 passes that were very catchable. And I wouldn't worry too much about it on CeeDee's perspective. I think wide receivers can get over that. If it happens again in the next week or 2, then I will start to raise alarm bells. But I think he can wash it. The Cowboys' offense looked great. If their defense could stop anyone, they might be a decent team this year. And I think just going against this Philly team, it's not like that was an easy assignment either. They got Saquon and Jalen Hurts and all their weapons. So I think it was a formidable game by Dallas, but Dak Prescott, he looked good. He looked mobile. He looked lean. I think he'll have a good year.
Mobile, I don't know if he looked mobile, but
he looked mobile for Dak. He got out of a couple sacks. He got out of 2 sacks where he has dead to rights.
Yeah.
Better than Jared Goff was looking.
Oh, no doubt. No, Dak was definitely on my board too. I went with Justin Herbert. Another weekday game, Friday. He went 25 for 34, 318 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. I just think controlled that whole game very well. Offense was clicking. I mentioned it earlier when maybe you were talking, Lewis, but Quentin Johnston learned how to catch. Very big for Herbert's game.
A lot of his catches, he's like wide open though. Like he does get separation.
Yeah,
Maybe that's just scheme.
Yeah, but I was impressed.
My standout performance is we've mentioned him, and once again, this is another guy that came in a loss. It was Justin Fields. I'm not sure how often that we're going to have two of the three players have play and don't win the game. So
Yeah.
this is a little weird. But Justin Fields, it was more based off of expectations, I would say. He had 2 rushing touchdowns. He went 16 for 22, 218 and a tutty in the air as well. He just looked like he was in command all day long. He threw some sick passes, and they scored 32 points sort of on his back. So is it sustainable? Probably not. But it was a great performance against a Steelers team, I guess, that doesn't have a great defense. But some people do actually think they have a decent defense. So
The Steelers?
I know some people do still believe they have a good defense.
They did the last 3 years, so it's like warping everyone's mind. But a lot of those players are older or left now. Like their secondary isn't nearly as good. TJ Watt isn't nearly as dominant as he was 2 years ago, even though he'll still be good for a big player too.
Mm-hmm.
I would consider them
just my thoughts.
I would consider them an average defense.
Yeah, we'll give them an average defense. That's fine because they were an elite defense like last year and the year before for majority of the season.
Do we want to hit on some games we haven't talked?
Yeah, why don't we hit on some games we didn't talk about? Eagles, I think they looked great for a first game, just in terms of the way that their offense played. They didn't even have to air out the ball, and their run game was still electric. So I think that's just a good win to get out against that pesky Dallas team.
Is AJ Brown trouble in paradise? Is that gonna
Is he gonna blow up the locker room?
Maybe.
He's a guy that reads books on the sidelines. One catch for 6 yards.
But I have not performed well on our week 1 picks. I really think that rain delay saved the Cowboys as far as the spread goes.
Yeah.
I think it was trending towards the Eagles to cover that 8 points. They look good.
We'll touch more on our picks in Wednesday's episode.
Yeah.
So
can I say
we'll have
though,
the full recap then.
that the Super Bowl rings that they got before the game are just ridiculous at this point. Way, way, way too big.
They are a little too big.
You can't even wear them around.
Maybe they'll get some replicas that are smaller that they can wear when they're 80 years old.
Yeah, because like you see like Jerry Rice going to the games with all of his rings, and like you can't even like really wear the new ones. That's a great point.
What about Jalen Carter too? Spitting?
Yeah,
Spitgate?
he'll be back for next game, but I mean that's the reason that he dropped from the draft. Even though like I'm going to take him with that.
Cowboys ran all over them.
Yeah,
because of that middle.
Yeah, he'll be back. He'll be fine. Eagles will take care of that in house. Big Dom, all right.
Big
He
Dom.
goes all over the place. Like,
I'm not even sure we should give him the time of day.
No. He acts like he doesn't want to be in the spotlight at all, and just like he stands directly behind Sirianni and by every player that he knows that the spotlight's going to be on, and he's like telling Sirianni who he can shake hands with after the game. It's ridiculous.
Somehow, some way.
He wasn't like this before he got thrown out. Like people would have noticed, and now he is all over the place.
What does he need a headset for?
Yeah, what does he need a headset for? God,
somehow every single time somebody gets shoved out of bounds, he is right there to push them back or help them not fall, whatever. It's
thrown out of that game last year.
Oh, well. He likes the spotlight. Doesn't deserve it.
Couple more games. What else do you want to hit on before? Dolphins, we didn't mention them. They looked awful. This could be a first coach fired by week 5.
Yeah, I would say
need to touch on the Colts, but
yeah, I mean their team's probably going to get blown up. Tyreek Hill probably won't be on the team. Tua Tagovailoa is kind of in no man's land. Like he's not going to like go to it. I don't think any other team really wants him, especially given his injury history. But like the Dolphins probably want something new if things continue to go this way. So I don't know what happens there. And then McDaniel's going to get fired. It's just that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, I think you're spot on. I got another quick hitter. We got a little bit of time for a couple more quick hitters, but 49ers, we were on the other side of this one. I had the Seahawks, you had the 49ers today. I thought both teams looked okay. Sam with a tough fumble at the end. I'm kind of rooting for Sam this year. Max mentioned this. Wish him well. I wish they aired the ball out more. They kind of tried to stick to running, but like it wasn't really happening. I think that's it's a good win for the Niners, but like at what cost? You lost Juwan Jennings, you lost George Kittle, Fred Warner's banged up. Purdy didn't look fantastic. I still am not terribly high on the Niners this year.
This is
Talk. I know
Carolina
you might be on the other
Panthers.
side.
Carolina Panthers,
Yeah.
Christian McCaffrey. He's their entire team.
I just want to say you can't.
Yeah, go ahead. All right. Well, I'll go.
Oh, God.
He's a strong. He's a strong gust of wind away from getting hurt. All right, go ahead.
All I was going to say was that I don't think you can say that the Seahawks are all this and that, and then say that the 49ers really didn't impress you much winning on the road in Seattle, which is a tough place to play.
No, I mean, it was like an impressive win. I'm just saying it wasn't like inspiring for the rest of the year because of how banged up they are coming out of it. And they're already like
That's fair.
kind of top heavy.
That's fair. Yeah. I thought the 49ers completely and utterly outplayed the Seattle Seahawks all day long,
they did.
and the score did not show it. And
Well,
no
the
Sam
field
Darnold.
goal unit, not very good.
There is a reason they didn't throw the ball as much as you think they should have. It's because their O-line won't be able to handle any pass rush in the NFL.
They could use
I
a
digress.
receiver besides
Time will
Smith and
tell.
Jigba too.
Time will tell.
And any other games you guys want to hit before?
The Texans are as uninspiring of a football team
Yes,
that
I
has
was gonna
talent
like
as
that's kind of like an
any.
interesting game, but no, not good. Rams
Not a
didn't
fun
really
watch.
like Rams to win that game from them. I think speaks more to how bad the Texans are than the Rams being some great team.
You could argue.
But-
You could argue. The craziest game of the day was the Falcons Buccaneers game, which
Yeah,
you
didn't
could
even
argue
mention
either
that.
team should have won that game. Obviously, the Younghoe Koo missed kick at the end was devastating to some. But yeah, Buccaneers hung on. Let's see. Cardinals Saints not worth talking about. Commanders Giants was very boring all day. Jags
point there.
Panthers.
1 point there,
Uh,
Tuck.
Yeah.
Dable put some weight back on.
Yeah,
That's
Dable
true.
did put some weight back on. He's off
Good to see.
Ozempic. Also,
Good
We
to
mentioned.
over under week 2.5 that we see Jackson Dart in as starting quarterback.
I would 2.5.
He might start next week. He was already non-committal to Russ as the next week starter. He's going to pull the plug on Russ quick.
I agree. Panthers Jaguars, just real quick. I was surprised. Some of you may not have been surprised by this outcome. I
I
expected
don't
a
even
bit
know why
more
I
from.
touched this game. I should have stayed away from this from a 10-foot pole. Keep going though. Sorry, I'm cutting you off.
No, all I was going to say is I still believe in Bryce Young, even though he did throw.
He's a gamer.
He's going to keep you in most games, and you don't want to. When it's a one possession game in the fourth quarter, you don't want to see him on the other side. I'm just going to tell you that. Today, we didn't get that opportunity because it was a blowout, but maybe next week, the week after, when it's a one possession game, he will make the plays when they matter. Just watch.
I mean, a little bit of a disagree here. So to go back, it's a little bit of an inside joke because John called him a gamer this morning, and then they immediately scored like 3 points. I think you don't want to see him when their team is down like 2 scores because that's going to be a backdoor cover.
100%.
Day.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm excited
I
for this
will-
game
yeah.
tonight. It's just
Yeah,
about
I'm
to
excited.
start. Any final predictions?
This game, I have no clue what's going to happen. I don't. Let's see. As
I
a
hope it's high
precursor,
scoring. I
Lewis,
think
you picked the
Ravens-
Bills.
Yeah. I did pick
On
the Bills.
on here you picked Bills. I picked Bills. Max picked the Ravens. So, but I could see any team winning it.
Yeah, I think it's a coin flip.
All right. We'll be back on Wednesday. Thanks everybody for listening. Thank you to German Auto Works, as I mentioned earlier. Enjoy tonight's game. Enjoy tomorrow's Vikings game, or I should say today's Vikings game. And we'll see you on Thursday morning. Adios.
Skol.